This is SportsCenter.
SportsCenter on YouTube. Welcome in. I'm David Lloyd alongside Ryan Smith. The Olympic basketball tournament less than 2 weeks out, and Team USA continues its exhibition schedule. Their opponent Wednesday posing a big challenge for the red, white, and blue.
Team USA and Nikola Jokic and Serbia. Noon Eastern is tip-off, and the attention for this one focused firmly on the middle with Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid tasked with guarding the three-time NBA MVP. Embiid's been struggling in international play, so this matchup is a key test for him. It's also an Olympic preview. These two teams are in the same Group C in the Olympics and open the games against each other. Brian Windhorst joins us live now from Abu Dhabi, where Team USA is taking on Serbia in just a few hours. Thank goodness you're inside. You just told us the heat index was 140 plus outside yesterday. Ugh. Well, now, what is the importance, Brian, of today's matchup for the Americans' Olympic outlook?
Ryan, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is why the U.S. needed to get a player like Joel Embiid for games like this. Now, it's obviously an exhibition game, but this is the beginning of what could be a triumvirate of games against Serbia over the next few weeks. The Serbians are enormous. Obviously, Nikola Jokic in the center as their MVP. They have a couple of other 7-footers that they play. This is where the U.S. struggles. The U.S. is comfortable against perimeter teams like Canada. The Serbians are awesome. They finished with the silver medal last year in the World Cup, even though Jokic didn't play. They will play them today. They get a chance to test them today. Then they will play them in 11 days to start pool play in Lille, France, and then potentially in the medal rounds. That's what you want if you're Serbia. 3 shots to understand what you must do, to understand what you have to improve on. That's a huge advantage for them to get 3 swings. And I'm not even sure how much Jokic is going to play tonight because they played last night, but this is where Joel Embiid really comes into play.
Okay, we'll see how he performs. He's got to be valuable for the U.S. to beat some of their top competition, like you said, even Serbia. What is the team hoping to see from Embiid in these remaining exhibition games?
Yeah, Ryan, he's been sluggish. There's no doubt about that. He's uncomfortable with FIBA play. He's just beginning doing it. Jokic has been playing for years with his national team. And he's looked a little out of shape and he's looked a little out of rhythm. And people are already saying, well, maybe Anthony Davis, who's looked great, should start. I want to emphasize something that people need to understand when it comes to Embiid. He doesn't need to look good on July 17th. He doesn't even really need to look good when these two teams play in pool play on July 28th. Joel Embiid has to be in good shape and looking good on August 6th. That is when the elimination games start. The U.S. is loaded. They're going to get to that round. But once those games start, the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals will be the toughest gauntlet Team USA maybe has ever run to get another gold medal. That's why they need to get Embiid good. He's looked good, better this week than he did the week before. He's got a long way to go, but they've got a long time to get him up and running.
Yeah, good point. He's got to look good in August. That's what counts. And you talk about the schedule. The U.S. has 2 more exhibitions in London. Their quest for gold starts July 28th against Jokic and Serbia. Brian Windhorst with the very latest from Abu Dhabi. Thanks, Brian.
SEC Media Days continue today in Dallas. Featured teams include Alabama, which begins the post-Nick Saban era. New head coach Kalen DeBoer takes over a Tide team that went 12-2 last season, lost in the playoffs to eventual champion Michigan in overtime. Another SEC team with a new coach is Mississippi State. Former Oklahoma and Ole Miss offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby takes over in Starkville, looking to boost the team that was last in the conference in scoring in 2023. Florida enters year 3 under Billy Napier. After a 5-2 start, the Gators lost 5 straight to end 2023 and have not finished over 500 since 2020. And SEC newcomer Texas joins the league after a 12-win season and a playoff semifinal appearance. ESPN Analytics gives the Longhorns a 24% chance to win the conference. That's second best behind only Georgia. Cole Kubelik joins us from SEC Media Days there in Dallas. So, Cole, Alabama and Texas both in attendance today. Everyone curious about the Tide. What happens when you remove perhaps the greatest coach in college football history? Is Bama, without Nick Saban, still the biggest threat to Georgia this year in your mind?
Ooh, David, I've kicked that one around a lot leading into SEC Media Days, discussing teams like Ole Miss, Texas, Missouri. Tennessee might be one of those football teams. LSU is going to be a good team. But it all comes back to Alabama for me. Number one, Kalen DeBoer is a great football coach. You're not going to replace and be another Nick Saban, but I think he's just different enough to change the vibe in the facility and around practice to maybe take the Tide in a new direction. That roster is still talented enough. And history would not be on the side of the other teams if that was the argument that you were making. When Georgia faces off against Kentucky on September 14th, it will have been 1,407 days since an SEC team not named Georgia or not named Alabama beat the Georgia Bulldogs, and that was Florida in 2020. So not a lot of other teams have pulled it off. When I came full circle and looked at the physicality, it had to be Alabama still being that #1 threat.
Okay, there you go. So I'm going to go to Texas now, another powerhouse looking to make noise. Longhorns and national semifinalists last year as well. They have a bunch of guys back, Cole. Can they win in their first year with this new conference?
They do have guys back, David, but more important, who they lost. I thought Sark did maybe the best job of any coach in college football of not just replacing the players they lost, but getting almost exact prototypes of those players. Not to say that they'll be as productive or as good, but this is a team that's been recruiting for this moment for the last couple of years. The line of scrimmage is where Texas is probably about as ready as you can be to step into this conference, but it's still going to be different. You look at the fact that the offensive line, defensive lines, is where games are won in this conference. Those two big defensive tackles for the Longhorns last season, Murphy and Sweat, they're going to be gone, but they got a great offensive line, and Kyle Flood's group is going to be one that's prepared for SEC play. It's just doing it week in, week out in those venues against those big, giant physical players on the line of scrimmage. Texas has the quarterback. They have the skill. They have all the players, but once again, history not on their side. Only 3 teams ever have stepped into a Power 5 conference year one and won that conference. I don't see the Longhorns winning the SEC, but I do think they'll be very competitive year one.
All right, Cole getting us mentally prepared. It's a new SEC and it's a new college football with the 12-team playoff. Media days continue in the SEC there in Dallas. Shohei playing in his first All-Star game as a Dodger, second at bat. Here's our man Ravi on the call.
Next pitch on the way. Ohtani drives this one to right. Soto doesn't move. He looks over his shoulder, and 12 rows deep it lands. A 3-run home run for the superstar Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani, the first Dodger since Mike Piazza in 1996 to hit a home run in the All-Star game. Ohtani's home run traveled 400 feet. Freddie Freeman, his teammate, loving it. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, well, not so much. And then he gets greeted with a sunflower seed shower from Teoscar Hernandez, his teammate. Here's Paul Skeens on being Shohei's teammate for a minute.
I tried to enjoy, the 3 hours or so that I had on the same team with him, because that's probably only going to happen for once a year. So it was really cool to watch him do that. Really cool to watch him go about his business and get to meet him and all that. I don't know of any hitter that I've faced that's better than him in my career, and so to be able to share a dugout with him was surreal.
Surreal kind of describes Shohei's year. First, he signed with the Dodgers, becoming the highest paid athlete in the history of North American sports, but with an oddly backloaded contract. He and his new team started the season in South Korea when news broke that his friend and interpreter had stolen and then gambled away millions of dollars of Ohtani's money. Since then, it's been largely business as usual as Ohtani is on track for another MVP season. Here's Jeff Passan with more on all of this.
We're excited to introduce Shohei Ohtani.
Every great drama needs a villain. The Dodgers will be the villain.
This ball is gone! It is Dodger debut!
From the moment he signed a $700 million free agent contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers in December, Shohei Ohtani solidified his status as the star around whom the entire baseball world orbits.
Number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
This ball's gone!
That's a home run for Shohei Ohtani.
His first walk-off hit in 4 seasons.
The marriage between Ohtani, the game's biggest draw and 2-time MVP winner, and the Dodgers, one of baseball's marquee franchises, was power coupling as only Hollywood can do. Naturally, it hasn't been drama-free. Ohtani's first year with the Dodgers has included the revelation that his longtime interpreter stole and lost at least $16 million from Ohtani to cover gambling debts, a cornucopia of injuries that hampered the team, and a shift to a full-time designated hitter role as he returns from his second reconstructive elbow surgery. How has Ohtani handled the chaos?
This ball's back. It is gone. A home run. for the second night in a row, a leadoff home run.
By being the best hitter in the National League and making the heavily deferred $700 million look like a bargain.
Shohei Ohtani's National League leading 28th home run of the season.
That Ohtani continues to find success is a testament, not only to the talent that by now is obvious, but the sort of mental fortitude that has buoyed him over his 7 years in Major League Baseball.
I'm very saddened and shocked that someone who I'm trusted has done this.
Following the Dodgers' first game of the season in South Korea, Ohtani's interpreter, Ippei Mitsuhara, admitted he had stolen money from Ohtani to feed a gambling habit. Ohtani said he had no knowledge of Mitsuhara's gambling issues and continued to play and produce as Mitsuhara was charged and on June 4th pleaded guilty to federal bank and tax fraud charges.
I do want to make it clear that I never betted on sports or have willfully sent money to the bookmaker.
In the weeks since, Ohtani has unleashed one of the most torrid stretches of his career, ascending to be the favorite in the NL MVP race.
Man, I don't remember him being this good in Anaheim. This is unbelievable.
The Dodgers are missing a parade of bold names, from Mookie Betts to Clayton Kershaw to Walker Buehler to $325 million free agent starter Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And yet they remain atop the NL West thanks in large part to Ohtani's skill with the bat. In the meantime, he continues to rehab his elbow, planning to return to Los Angeles' starting rotation next season. As much as Ohtani has illustrated that his transcendence goes beyond playing both ways, the notion of the Dodgers getting an even better version of him is frightening to the other 29 teams around baseball. The star, already the brightest in the sky, even more luminescent.
Ohtani, a chance to pull off the first Triple Crown in the National League since the Cardinals' Joe Ducky Medwick back in 1937. Shohei currently leads the NL in homers, stands second in batting average, and third in RBI. He's also second overall in the majors in home run slugging percentage and OPS, trailing only Aaron Judge in each category. ESPN's top 100 professional athletes rankings since 2000, being released this week on ESPN.com. See the QR code, scan that on the screen to see where Shohei lands on the list. The second half of the baseball season starting up again on Friday.
Yeah, you think our Phillies can continue to stay the best in baseball?
Absolutely, yes.
I think so. Thanks for watching SportsCenter on YouTube. See you next time.